preview. Ooh, I think we are live. Are we live, guys? Let's remove this things here. Come on. There we are. Is this better? Let me check online. Preview, public view. Yeah, so then I can go like this. Alrighty, I think we are good. Oh, look at that. We have good sound too. Alright, so I put a full screen with the pictures. Hi, Sai Kine. I hope I read your name right. Anyways, I'm in my garage now, and this is where we're gonna do this live stream here. Hopefully it's not too distracting, like this whole background and stuff. Anyways, yeah, this is going to be a live unboxing. Oh, yeah, I should have looked at the info. Before I go crazy here, I need to go and figure out who sent me this stuff. So someone out there, one of you guys, decided to send me those two boxes there, right? And just for fun. So let's see, who was it? I want to give him credit. Let's look it up here, the info. I think it was on Facebook, I think. No, it wasn't on Facebook. It was, I think he sent me a message. Here we go. Okay, let me look at it here. Julian, look at, in fact, Julian from Julian's Random Projects sent me some little thing. Here we go. We posted there. Hopefully, it'd be cool if he was watching. Julian, if you're watching, comment here on the page so that we can know that you're watching me opening the thing. All right. So let's do this. How do we do this? You put the camera down. All righty. Should probably have some music going on. Okay, so, oh, man. Come on here now. All right, so I kind of peeked already a little bit. Is this the right lighting? I don't know if this is the right lighting, right? Maybe if I put the camera up here, then you guys will get to see better. Yeah, this looks better, right? Here we are. I'll use this box. I'm so unprepared. I know, guys. I know. I kind of peeked in here on this one first, just to see that it was the stuff from him. But look at what this guy, Julian, sent me. So, anybody wants to take a guess at what this might be? It's got orange cables, which means high voltage stuff. It's got green things, which usually means like CAN bus connections. Usually were green cables in the green cables in the automotive. Well, twisted pairs usually are CAN bus stuff. It comes with the connectors. Ooh, look at that. And a whole lot of, oh, look at that. And it's got the cooling loops. Let's see what else comes in the box. There's more. That's it. That's it on this box. So let's see. Coachella Valley. Is it out of focus? Is it still out of focus? Alright, so I'm reading your comments, guys. Is it out of focus? Anyone guess what that is? Charger. PC Gabriel. Charger. What kind of charger? It is a charger. Wait, is it a charger? Let me see. Let's see. Yes. All you guys who guessed that it was a charger, it is a charger. A time machine. It's liquid cool, yes. So it is a charger. Prius battery? No, it's not a Prius battery. Yeah, it's a charger from a car that I have right outside here. It's a Chevy Volt charger, which is cool. I mean, it's not that amazing, right? It's a 3.3 kilowatt charger, but it's a high voltage charger, so it's usually 330 volts. I think that's how these are. But it's water cooled, and it's actually kind of small. It's pretty cool. I like it. So I'll take this apart and I'll make a whole video. I'll do a proper teardown on this one because I wasn't able to do that on the Tesla charger last week. It's a tear down, and you didn't tear much down on it. But you know, it was an expensive charger, and it wasn't mine, so it's you know, I couldn't just take it apart. So that's one. Let's do the other box now. Thank you, Julian, by the way. That charger will help us learn a lot. And if we're lucky, we can get that working. And hopefully put it on another, you know, DIY electric car. Right? Because why shouldn't we use the cool stuff that our taxes pay? Because if you don't know, like, the Chevy Volts, they're heavily subsidized here in California. And GM was bailed out, right? Even though I think they paid their loan already or whatever. Yeah, our taxes kind of paid maybe the development of that and stuff. And so it's cool that we get to play with that stuff. Oh man, I hate these peanuts. Okay, so cables, more orange cables. Man, what am I gonna do? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. We get a big box like this, and then we dump all the peanuts in there. I mean, we can all agree, right? These are the most annoying things in the world. Peanuts. I curse the man who invented peanuts. Plus, these are bad for the environment, right? Because it's styrofoam. I don't know. Do we still believe that they're bad for the environment? I don't know. I guess these are different kinds of styrofoam. All right. I'm just gonna dump them. Alrighty. Ooh. Check it out. Look at this one. So these are bus bars, right? They are multi-layer. Oh yeah, look at how many layers are in here. There's one. Wow, like 10 layers that I can count in here. So which means these are nice and flexible, but they can carry quite a bit of amperage there. And this seems to be just a Hall effect sensor, which it senses the difference of electrons going by here, or the differences in the I think is the what do they measure? Yeah, the difference is in like the magnetic field, right? So that's how it measures current. So this is just a current sensor. But look at this, pretty cool. Let's see. Bubble wrap, more bubble wrap. All right, check this out. Oh, popcorn. All right, anyone who want to take a guess what this is? What this is right here? More orange cables. That means high voltage, right? Here we go. High voltage connector. And then thick cables on the other side. The ground. And what is this? This is red, so the positive. Check it out. So, I mean, let me read the comments there. But are you guys guessing right? A flux capacitor. Christopher Coronel says. Amp meter. BMS. No BMS. Come on, guys. Controllers are a little bit bigger than that, and they would have more cables coming in. So this one has 4 cables total. Actually, where is? Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have another connector. Wait, what? Oh, let me take a look at this. Hold on. Oh, and I totally skipped this part where it device, like it works. If you feed it power on one side, it'll give you power on the other side. It doesn't have bus, like signal telling it to shut off or whatever. Let's take this thing off. We can do that right now. I won't get too crazy into tearing this down live, because then, it's kind of boring or whatever. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so not super exciting. Look at that. So the air comes in through here. It just heatsink on the bottom of this thing. Those are pretty cool. Okay, so the cool thing about this is I think that it puts out some crazy. Kind of hard for me to get the 300 volt. Actually, no, I have a car right there. I know how to, spoof the computer. Anyways, that one will work again pretty soon, actually, because is that they might be like really, really high power systems. Like that stuff was throttled back by Mercedes. So that power, that little car actually has a lot of power that makes it like dangerous, almost dangerous. It's so small, but we will see that later. There's a little box from Julian to Jehu. By the way, thank you, Julian. This should be fun. Let's see. Okay, so it's not very interesting me reading the thing, but he's basically saying he's been watching my videos for a long time, that he likes the way I do things. He likes the fact that I don't just give in to people what they say, you know? It's like you have to have BMS because everyone says you do, and I go against the grain. I mean, and not just to go against the grain, but you know, it's like there are reasons, you know. It's like I think most people think that there's only one way of doing things, and I'd like to believe that there's many ways of doing things, and so there is a way to have batteries safely without a BMS, and batteries are actually dangerous even with a BMS. I think that's what most people have a hard time understanding. Let's see. What else did he say? Let's open up this from him. Wait, what is this? He sent me stacks of cash. Look at this. Julian, wow. Thank you. I feel like a high roller now. Look at this amount of cash in here. Oh, man. Okay, so this one says this one's private. But this one, he says I can read. Anyways, Julian says he's got 2 dogs. He's from California. He spends a summer as a kid and lived in southern Arizona, but he spent some time in Mexico. EVs, after buying a Leaf to get into the HOV lanes, I've been hooked and I can't go back to internal combustion cars, which is true. I think most of the time, I think if any of you guys watching there, once you go EV, you don't go back. Arduino, get ready to blow the dust off yours. We both manufacture valuable things for sale: quadcopters, off-grid solutions, experiments, a heart of a teacher, solar power, not afraid to break stuff. I could go on. One day you're going to be huge and people will say, oh, he's so lucky, ignoring the years and years of work you put in. I can't wait for that day. Included are the charger and the DC to DC converter from a Chevy Volt I used to harvest parts for an EV project I plan to build. Now I plan to use a Volt pack for off-grid solar. Thank you, Julian. Julian's Random Project. That's this YouTube channel. Go check him out. Julian, thank you very much for your gifts. They definitely will not go to waste. We will, at the very least, spend some time learning something and, you know, just experimenting with them and stuff, right? So he's working because we are at that stage, especially with the stuff that Michael has going on over there. Like we're this close to like being where like now we're full-time hacking these systems, which is pretty amazing. Because if you think about it, these cars, no one needs the parts for a few years because they're all still under warranty. And so every day, the more and more cars are these electric cars that are on the road, they're going to end up at the scrapyard. They're going to be, you know, and so those parts, if we don't use them, then they're going to go and they're going to be scrapped. And so I think, yeah, it's the more we know and the more that we get excited about this stuff, the more the EV, the DIY EV projects that we can have, and we can save a lot of these tech, which is, you know, OEM quality stuff. It's the best stuff, right? I mean, they spend a lot of money and a lot of time, these huge companies, to develop these parts, and so it's great when we can get them close to nothing. And so I think the future looks pretty bright for the DIY and stuff. This would make a really great like battery charger. I mean, that's essentially what it is, right? Let's see, what else do I have? So I had something else. I don't even, let me see. It is 9:42. Oh, am I frozen? Someone's saying that it was lagging and then I was frozen. Sound problem occurring. Oh man, a lot of technical difficulties. Oh, there it goes again. Like DC to DC. Now it's good. Now you read the comment. Can you make one of the battery videos on mixing different size batteries, chemistries, like on your Samba? Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually need to make that video because even though I mention it from time to time, I really haven't touched on the subtleties of how, even though batteries are plugged like in parallel, depending on their chemistry and depending on the type of battery and the size, there's a different time when they feed you the energy. Like they take turns basically, right? And you have to kind of be careful when you design a system and keep that in mind so that you don't kill batteries. Let's see. Okay, so everyone can hear fine and it's not lagging anymore. All right. Let's move on to the next project. Julian, thank you once again. Thank you for the goodies and thank you for the stacks of cash. Look at this. So here we go. We'll just throw this guy away. All right. Let's throw this away. All right. Okay, so this next project also has a little bit to do with batteries and motors, and essentially is an EV vehicle. It's just an EV vehicle in miniature. You guys just probably saw it here in the background. So of course this my neighbor Jason brought this over for me to look at it and see if we can get it running. It's crazy because this giant skateboard here with giant wheels is a 36 volt DC motor skateboard, and it has lead acid batteries. Can you guys believe that? Skateboard with lead acid batteries. Here's a battery. Check it out. It's got 3 of those 12 volt batteries that are usually on a UPS, right? CO lead acid batteries. Does it say? Oh, it says 10 amp hours. So 36 volts, 10 amp hours. What is that? I'm not gonna be able to tell you guys. I'm horrible at math. And so, anyways, this was a huge, super heavy board, and it's knocking. Oh man, someone's knocking on my door. The dogs are going crazy over there. So, anyways, it has a wired cable. Look at this wired cable, right? This is the controller. You turn it on, and then you ride it, and it's got this motor with the, of course, get the thing, and then you just ride this thing. I want to get her going. The battery's completely dead, and so I thought that was gonna be it, but we kind of give it power, and like the controller didn't want to go, and so the other thing is I gotta check this guy because it looks kind of fishy. You know, I gotta check the connections between those cables or whatever. But as soon as we do that, I want to put a bunch of 18650s on this guy. Or if the 18650s won't work, the other thing is I have this bin here with a bunch of these pouch cells. These are used to use them back in the day for a little battery that we used to make. Oh, where is it at? Oh, I have one here. Yeah, so back in the days, this was a battery for powering cameras, right? So our rigs used to have this, and it used to be like kind of like a counterweight or whatever, but it's just a 12-volt battery. And yeah, look at that. This one still works. And so I just made the aluminum box, and then I would make the front panel here, and then we just connected. But what we were using was just cheap Chinese pouch cells, right? And this is how I started getting into batteries back in the day, right? This is so crazy because, you know, China likes to sell stuff with specs that don't actually are true, right? So these, oh yeah, like right here, you see that? It says 4600 milliamp hours. 11 point, oh, I think that's the whole battery. But anyways, they sell, supposedly these things were supposed to be, wait, 4600 milliamp hours? Yeah. $4,600 milliamp hours. So I tested them once I started doing the 18650s, and they came in like at 2200 milliamp hours or something. So they're like about half of what the rate one of a different size that I got. These ones say, look, these ones say they're 4100 milliamp hours, 3.7. I didn't test these ones, but anyways, those would often just like, you know, fail or whatever, and so I would check the different cells, and then like I'd take the bad one and just chuck it, you know, I would dispose of it, and the good ones I would keep them in this bin. So I have this bin here with like, I don't know, like it's probably like 100 of them there, and so I could use that probably to get this guy back into working order. So that's that one, right? But here's the one that I've been working on. This is the one we were working on over there at EV. Gave me, oh man, I'm pressing all the buttons. Let's see here. Let me take off this stuff. All right, so this one is a gravity board. It's pretty cool. It's, you know, it's like those boards that everyone is using. And so I bought the motors and the controllers, and I just have these 18650 cells here that I am going to test this system with. Eventually I'm going to end up putting those lipo cells, you know, those ones that Michael is using with this Baja bug, and that I used and tested one day as I was over there. We have like 5 of those pouches left over, and so I'm gonna put them in here. And so anyways, we just connected this. Look, these are open source controllers, which are no different than the controllers that we're using on our electric cars. This is a 3-phase, well, it's not a 3, it's a 3-phase. I think the only difference is these motors are brushless DC. They have 3 windings that are separated, you know, or distributed, and then they have a controller that turns them on in sequence or whatever. And so I'll have to read more into what the difference is between, you know, DC brushless motors and 3-phase AC induction motors. But the one on the bus is a 3-phase AC induction motor. These are brushless DC motors, and so it uses this open source controller. It's called a VESC because the guy that made it named it that. And so it basically has MOSFETs, right? It has transistors here. It has 3 of them, and essentially it has a microcontroller, and it just, that's the thing that tells the MOSFETs when to turn on and in what sequence. And it also has CAN bus, and so you can connect one to the other one using several like this to be able to control the master and the slave. I did that before without actually doing the settings on these things, and so I killed them somehow. So these are, they're open source. It's not a super robust product. You can kill it rather easily, even though it's a very powerful. So these things are, I think they said without cooling like this, they can do 50 amps at 48 volts, which is, that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of power. And so I think this skateboard is going to be pretty awesome. I think it's going to be pretty powerful, more powerful than I need. I mean, I'm not a skater or whatever. I just wanted to do this because I want to make a video. It's essentially the same thing. It's an electric car. It's just in a miniature, right? And so if you can get into it, you can understand the system. Here's something else that comes in electric cars, right? So these are 12 cells in parallel. In series. And so all these other cables here are just for testing. I made this little thing for someone else. But here is the switch, look. So this is a switch. And it is essentially a piece of metal here he uses as a heat sink, and then that white paste is just like a heat transfer paste, right? And it just has, I think, the same type of MOSFETs. It's got two or three of them. And when you turn it on, it has a little switch. And I think it's got a little controller, a little microcontroller also. When you apply this here, what it does, it turns the power on, but it turns it on with the resistor. And so what that does, it pre-charges these capacitor banks on both of these the controllers. And so what that does is that it safely charges them, and there's not a big giant spark. And I think capacitors don't like to receive inrush currents like that. I think you can mess them up eventually with time. Not to mention that, like any switch that you turn them on, there's a big giant spark, and the sparks eats your contacts and stuff, right? And so this one does a soft start. So essentially, they call this a no spark switch, but essentially what it is a pre-charged circuit, right? And it's a solid state switch, which is pretty cool. The same guy that designed the VESC designed this switch, and yeah, you just turn it in there, and so now these two are powered. So let's turn it on. Oh, here's our controller. And this is just a regular RC controller that is designed sort of for these kinds of things. Here's the receiver. And it's a super simple RC controller, like where you get the other controllers that have a bunch of channels and stuff. This one just has like one or two. I think it has two because it's got another little switch over here. So let's see if we can get this guy running. Here we go. Ooh. And check it out. This thing, just like the full-size electric car, like the Samba, these controllers have regen. So regenerative braking, right? So look, if you spin this, ooh, only one broke at the time. So that doesn't seem like it's spinning that fast, but I think you can mess around with the gear ratio, right? It's a motor with it's got this gear here and then the bigger one, and so you can put a bigger one or a smaller here or a small or bigger here, and so you change that ratio and you can go faster at start, right? What's the other thing that I was gonna say that is just like a regular car? So it's got regenerative braking. Oh, here's the other thing. So my motor in the Samba has a sensor on it, right? What do they call it? They don't call it a sensor. They call it a oh man, what do they call it? Anyways, it has a sensor. It reads, it lets the controller know where it's at and how fast it's spinning, if it's spinning or not, and so whatever. So essentially, my motor is a sensor motor, right? And so there's feedback, and so the controller uses that information to do a bunch of things, to either apply more torque, by increasing the amperage or whatever. The same thing with these motors. Right now, I have them plugged in without the sensor. Here are the sensor cables, right? This one's one, and then the other one's over there. But I do have the connector to plug them in here. And then these open source controllers, they have an app that you can totally go in there and just start like tailoring all kinds of presets and all kinds of settings on it to be able to do stuff like max RPMs, max, current settings like max amperage and stuff. And so you could also set them to run without a sensor like they are running right now, or you can set them to run with a sensor. And the advantage of running with a sensor is, of course, that if I think in the skateboard here, if the controller knows what the motor is doing, then it could really do really smooth takeoffs, like the super low RPMs. Where right now it doesn't know, it has no feedback. It just shoves a bunch of energy into the windings, at the right sequence to get the motor going. But if the motor failed to start, for example, the controller doesn't know. And so that's my understanding, that it's a lot smoother once you connect the sensor. And I'm going to be playing with all that to see how much of a difference that makes and stuff. And so, this is going to be a fun project. And I'm going to record the whole thing. And hopefully I bought enough parts to be able to make a second one. And I can, my idea is to give it away. Because there are a lot of people that like this stuff. Skateboarding is a thing that people do. Not particularly me, but I'm really interested more into this because of the tech. And I think if any of you watching my channel and stuff wants to create a car and get into an electric conversion, this is a good way to get some practice. This is you get a board, you get the motors, you get the open source controller, so that you can just you be forced to learn all the principles of an electric car. And once you do that, you'll learn that it's really easy. There's not much to it, right? But you can get super technical into it. And so if you like that sort of stuff, you'll find it super interesting. And then at the end of the day, once you're done with this project, then you can go and ride around in your neighborhood if you're a skateboarder. And then that'll get you ready to do the full-size project, right? Which takes a lot more investment, a lot, not just monetary and financial investment, but also in time, because working on a car, takes a long time. It took me a good part of a year to get my bus working. And if you watch some of the older videos, I couldn't wait. I actually got my bus. And I was driving it without windows because I'm like, I don't care. Like, I spent so much time working on this thing that I'm going to drive it. I don't care if it doesn't have any windows. So anyways, let's see. Let's read some of your comments. Oh, wait a minute. No, that doesn't work. All right, guys. Way back. There's a lot of comments in here. Oh, and my battery low? Let me see. Is that what they said? Oh, yeah, the thing about this camera is that it lasts a long time. So 1 bar, yeah, we're good. It's not until it gets red then I know that I only have like a few minutes left. Let's see here. Can I read the comments next to the thing here? As it turns out, I don't like the comments on a separate thing. Well, I guess whatever. It's kind of weird just staring at a blank page like this with tiny little comments in there, right? A sensor motor will be a little smoother at very low speed, but with the skateboard, I highly doubt it would matter. So yeah, you're probably right, right? Skateboards with that out. I mean, he gave us all kinds of stuff, and he said that from what I've read is that the microcontroller, he's only using just a tiny portion of the capabilities, right? So there's like basically almost unused. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff with these, with that controller. And then the other thing is like pushing the limits. Like there's no cooling on that. So like in a little aluminum enclosure or whatever, and put a heatsink, then we could probably get a lot of power. Something like 2 kilowatts, out of that little device or whatever, which is pretty crazy. Okay, let me see. Oh, someone is texting me. Okay, what do we got? You're lagging when you start reading the comments. Really? Yeah, my connection is kind of slow here at home. I've been wanting to put files, but my city's so screwed up. They own stock in the current charter company that has the service, so it's like a monopoly thing. Like, well, not a monopoly, but it's yeah, politics, right? So, anyways, like, well, it used to be Verizon. It's literally like a mile from my house here, but yet they can't core the streets here because the city wouldn't allow them, and so I can't have fast internet because of that. It just really sucks. I just need to move, I think. Thanks for doing the skateboard. All right, yeah, it's gonna be a cool video. EV project, I think. I project right now because the stuff that I got didn't work, and I haven't had money to buy more of those UPSs, right? Wall off the shelf inverter. I just part of me says like, why? Michael just did that. Like he grabbed a bunch of stuff, bought it, put it together, and so there it is. It works, and I made a video about it, and it's having a bunch of views. I think it's like 200,000 plus views or something. I haven't checked in a while, but it's crazy. And so, anyways, that project is done. You want to see, we want to see a DIY power wall that you can just buy the stuff and put it together. Boom, there it is. I have a video. So I'd really want to do something more docs or something, so like I want to use one of those UPSs, and I know other people have done it. I just never seen a video of anybody saying like, this is what I'm gonna do. Boom, I'm gonna explain how to do it. Here you go, and so those are bricks. Pretty sure they're bricks because I tried everything I said. By you. When did I give my shop? No, I did it at the beginning of the year. So, my shop is literally less than a mile away from here, and there I did have files, and it was the connection was great. And so I would work on videos here sometimes, and I'd be like, let's get out of here, and I'd drive over there, and then I upload them over there because it's so much easier. But I can't do that anymore. Actually, I could, but now my brother has the space or whatever. Okay, let's see. Sound prop. Which is one is I don't remember what it is, but that I just want to have it because reconnect. Right. Okay, guys. I just open up the page where I can see. Is that where I'm at? Okay. This, right? So now I can see me, and then I can see your comments there. That's the page that I was looking for. Oh, I guess. Oh, now I have 6.5. Somehow I lost some views between now and 2 days ago. So, yeah, I'm sure it's YouTube's thing. Let's open a Tesla electronic power supply repair shop. That's one line of business you need to be in. You get my hint? Wait, power supply? Tesla electronic power supply repair shop. Shops. I'm not even moving. Tell you what, let's try the Wi-Fi thing is like right next to it. So if that's the problem, then I'll be able to get better connection. Besides, we're done here. Oh, let me turn this thing on. But by the way, how do you guys think that skateboard's gonna do? It's gonna only be 25 volts, but it's gonna be able to deliver like 800 amps. Because remember, that's what those batteries do. All right, let's see. Let's go over there, and then we'll end the thing over there. Okay, all right, here we go. No one's here? Okay, good. No one's here. That means I can totally geek out. Oh, here are the dogs. Okay, so I know it's kind of dark in here, but boom, we have a light. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Dogs, don't be making noise. All right. All right. Oh, look at that. I get to see the journey. The journey. All right, guys. So I found new 8-cell laptop batteries for $4. Should I buy it? Newegg 18650s, 2200 milliamp, 50 cents a cell. I say you do buy them. I mean, buy one or two and then test them out, and see how good those cells are. So obviously they are going to be a no brand name cell, right? Which I mean, just because they're no name brand doesn't mean they're going to suck or they're not going to last very much. But only testing will let you know what's if they're going to work or not. I'd say you buy a few and they test them, and if they turn out to be good, then you can buy a bunch of them. Much better connection. All right. So I guess it is. There's a bunch of walls in between here. My router's right here. You can see the antenna right there. Can you see the antenna right there? I can see it on my. I can see it on this screen, but not on that screen. All right. Are you going to do a J1772 port or a Model S port on your Samba? I'm gonna do a J1772 port because Model S technology is proprietor. Is that how you say proprietor? Or what? Yeah, we don't. It's a closed system, and even if I were to be able to hack it and make it work with my Samba, which is unlikely because my voltage, my bus runs on 130 volts max, and Teslas run on like 400 volts. It is to the point where I wouldn't be able to pull up to a Tesla charger and charge because most of them are like just with the line of Teslas. And can you imagine if I were like charging there and the Tesla people showed up and they'd be like, "Get the hell out of here," it would start a lot of trouble. There's not enough plugs for them already, right? Especially here in California. Maybe like in some other state or whatever, there's like unused, lonely superchargers. But yeah, it wouldn't work. And even if it did, it would be hard to pull off. Let's see here. Okay. Jehu, in order to hack the UPS, you really need to charge the charger. Change the charger settings to the charger LED values. The charger LED values don't work. Well, yeah, but I mean, I have to get the UPS working. So yeah, that's of course the challenge, right? And that's what I want to tackle. I know there are ways to doing it, and I'll find out if I can ever get a UPS that works. And I know I can buy cheap UPSs, but I don't know. For some reason, I want to get the big one that I'm gonna end up using, not just the little one. Quick question: how much does the shop charge to convert a car to electric on average? I don't know. I don't know. I think he said 10 grand or something. So you buy the parts, and then it's like 10 grand worth of labor, I think. I believe that's what Michael told me. So of course, like I said, clients that he has that do like a lot of them, he gives them, like discounts or whatever. So that's why I don't know exactly how much it costs because I haven't done it and I haven't really needed to figure it out, right? But I think that is on average how much it charges. I don't know if that's just for like the typical like easy conversion, like a bug, or some of these high-end stuff that he's doing. I mean, like he does some of these cars, like that Porsche that was there, like all that stuff is custom. Like it's the first time that they're doing any of that, so they have to like, manufacture like boxes for the batteries and connectors and mounts and all kinds of things. So I'm sure those are going to be higher because there's a lot of engineering to be involved. So I think it just depends on the car. But I think something easy like a bug or a Gia that he has all the parts for, it's something like that. What's a good tester or charger? For what? For the 18650s? We've just been using those little cheapy IB6 chart. I think that's what they're called. Those ones that all the RC people use. Those are what I have. I have a bunch of those. I think I have like 7 or something like that, and those seem to work pretty good. Would you sell your van? Of course I would sell my van. It just depends, how much people would be willing to give me. To give you an idea, I have like $70,000 invested in it. So, plus a bunch of work that I put into it. So it'd have to be a lot of money, it'd have to be 6 figures to be able for me to sell it. Float chart. Oh man, it moved away. 8:19 a.m. here. Ooh, things I do. Where are you? That is 8:19. Well, you must be on the other side of the world, I guess. Guess it's 10:21 p.m. here. Crystal. Crystal just commented, "Don't forget to plug in my car, her Chevy Volt that's outside." Um, okay, I'm going to enroll into Lag Anonymous. What's Lag Anonymous? Wouldn't it be better to have a higher bus voltage so you can use off the shelf parts from existing electric cars? Seems to be cheaper and likely higher quality. Yeah, it would be, except that right now a high voltage controller for an AC motor, it's super expensive unless you hack one of these, you know, either a Volt or a Leaf or a Tesla, right? So those are going to be the first cheap high voltage controllers. Right now, high voltage controllers like 6,000 and up or whatever. A Scott controller, right? It's like, yeah, it's up there. Who other makes the other ones that they're using? There's a couple of them available. They're expensive. And so, yeah, you're looking at just for the controller. Then you gotta get a motor, and then you gotta like do the thing where you program the controller for the motor, which I think it's not as easy. I think you need to have like some testing equipment, like to be able to load the motor with torque and stuff and all that stuff. So yeah, it's not as cheap as that. It is going to be. Like, for example, if you were to get a Chevy Volt controller and motor combo, right, and you hack it and you're able to use it, it would be great because all that work is done already. Those are paired together, and so there's a lot of work that went into that. What's wrong? What's wrong, Bruce? I mean, Wayne. He's complaining over here. I already fed you. You can't be hungry anymore. I'm live right here. Come on. All right? So, IMAX B6. There you go. Andre Garcia. He said. In Turkey. Oh, man, this guy's in Turkey. Ismail Dong. Oh, man, where are you? I lost my place. I have a quick question. How are these Tesla battery modules being sold online? I mean, they're from the cars, right? Yeah, they're from they're from a pre-production smart car that was developed by Mercedes, and so the batteries were sourced by Tesla. So that's how those components can be sold. No one needs them anymore because those cars are off the road. It would cost way more money to get them off the road, so they were dismantled. And those are the batteries from it. And in a lot of the cases, they're almost new. And a lot of those components are almost new. I mean, motors, controllers, DC to DCs, like all that stuff, right? And so as soon as all that stuff gets hacked, then it's really valuable stuff because it's OEM quality products, and we can throw them into DIY cars. 122 in Miami. Yes. See, that's the problem with the East Coast. They're ahead 3 hours. Let's see here. Jehu, did you place a down payment on the Model 3? No, I didn't. I ended up just getting the Chevy Volt for this year. Yeah, I don't know. I'll wait till they come out and stuff, and then, I know we're gonna have to wait a long time, but everyone's gonna have to wait a long time. So I'm more like I'm gonna get my thing. I remember it's the same thing with the red cameras were gonna come out. Right? We were so excited because it was gonna be a tiny little camera that would offer like cinematic quality footage, right? And yeah, it's like so exciting. And I never put a like a down or what. I didn't reserve one or whatever, and it came out, and then the second generation came out, and it wasn't until like the third or whatever I finally was like, okay, let me try one of these things. And I was so disappointed at that point, because everyone else kind of had gone. Like if they had released the product when they announced it, it would have been crazy, right? But because they waited so long and everyone had to wait so long, by the time it came out, it wasn't that impressive and stuff. And so I think something like that is going to happen with the Model 3. It's like we're hoping that Elon can figure it out and get these things out in time and stuff. But if he doesn't, by the time it comes out, you know what I mean? Like Chevy, I mean, already the Bolt is here, right? We saw it at the LA Auto Show and stuff, and that's a 200 mile electric car that it's not that bad. It's a real car. I like, my wife liked it. We would buy it. We would buy it right now if we hadn't had the Chevy. Well, yeah, as a Chevy Volt, right? Because it does have quick charging, which is cool. And so it's a cool car, and it's real. And I think that's the thing that I like. So I tend to navigate more towards the stuff that I can get now. I don't like planning. I'm just not a planner. I'm not into the future. You know what I mean? Whoa. What happened here? Like anonymous. Let's see. Jehu, what is your opinion? Insurance company are pretty afraid of Tesla. Autonomous car makes us safer and people are less want to have insurance for their cars. This is going to be a global economy problem. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. Like, I've never used insurance. Like, insurance has never bailed me out of something. I haven't gotten in an accident and then, they pay for my car or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm happy with them because, it would have cost me a bunch of money or whatever. So I tend to see insurance companies kind of like the enemy, right? Because I've never benefited from them. I've been paying insurance because the law requires me to pay insurance here. And I see all the fraud and I see all the people that fight just to get a claim in and stuff. And so I tend to look at insurance like kind of just like con artists. It's like I have a very negative view on insurance. And so, yeah, it's kind of weird that they'll have a problem with this technology. I know right now it's not any safer to be driving tests like than autonomous, right? Because it's so early in the technology. But I think eventually it will. I think it's only a matter of time before it is going to be safer because, the computers don't get sidetracked. They don't get distracted by texting and stuff. And so I think it's going to work. I think regardless. I think every manufacturer, gas or electric, I think they're going to be trying to do this autonomous driving stuff. And so I think insurance are going to have to get on board. In the meanwhile, I don't know. I mean, it might be a huge problems, like you say. Reinhardt controllers are good, but lots of compatibility with different motor. I'll bet lots of them. Yeah, Reinhardt controllers. In fact, oh man, my battery's about to die. Oh, and that's not easily replaceable. Guys, I'm gonna have to call it here. Because the way my camera's mounted, I can't take the battery out easily. And so it's gonna take me a while. So it's 10:30. Thank you for watching this. Come back on Saturday. I'm gonna give away that drone live. All right. Thank you. Good night.